everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be answering an age-old question. Is baking necessary? Baking, what is it? Why should you do it? Why should you not do it? How do you do it? What do you use to do it? We're going to talk all about that. This is part of my Makeup Vocabulary Series where I'm going through the A through Z of makeup, okay? So we've already hit A. We've done application, applicators, and brows. And now we are at baking. We're not going in alphabetical order, okay? We've also done blush, how to layer blush. So yes, now today we're talking about baking. If you love this red lip and this lash, guess what? I'm having a masterclass. Y'all be saying I don't be telling y'all nothing. I'm telling you right now. I'm having a masterclass on October 25th. The Lips and Lashes with Lauren Raggedy Royal Masterclass is my second one this year, and I would love to see you there. I'm selling tickets down in the description bar below. We're going to be going over how to achieve the perfect red lip and how to apply faux lashes. And let's get right into the video. If any time along the way you enjoy this video, you feel like you learned something, please give it a like down below. That helps. And subscribe because we're working towards 100,000 subscribers. And let's get into the video. Oh, everything I have on my face also is going to be down in the description bar below. So don't worry. Don't worry, I thought of everything. Don't worry. Okay, so here we are. I wanted to show you where exactly in my base routine I bring in this step. Because sometimes when I make these smaller videos where it's like, here's how I do this one thing, it can get a little bit lost in when am I supposed to do it, right? So this step would come right after I do concealer and blush. So I have all my cream products on, right? So I have my foundation on, my concealer on, my cream and liquid blushes, and my cream contour. Baking would come right after that because now we're going to be adding powders and making things more matte, right? So I don't want to add any creams on top of the powder because that's going to make a mess, okay? Imagine like flour and then you try to put syrup on top of it or water on top of it. That's a mess. That's a mess. So I'm going to add powder after I do all of the cream and liquid stuff that I want to do. Now let's talk about baking. What is baking and what does baking include? Is adding a large quantity of setting powder. So I'm going to put it into its top. That's what I like to do because putting it onto the brush is just, I don't even know how that would work out. So I like to put it into the top just so I can have, you know, a little bit more control. And here are my two favorite brushes to apply setting powder. I love the Real Techniques contour brush. I use this for concealer and for setting powder. And then I also love, this is a new one, I love the Morphe M204. It says cream and liquid blush. You can't let what makeup labels say, you know, stop you from using what's best practice. All right, I love these two. So then I'm going to go in with the Morphe M204. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to apply it everywhere I apply my setting powder, but on one side of my face. And so I'm going to apply underneath the eye. We're going to go all the way out. When I add highlighter, I don't put setting powder out there, but we're not going to add highlighter there. We're going to keep it nice and matte. Around the mouth and above the eyebrow. Right? Now the entire point of baking is that you add a lot and you let it sit. Now, I also love to use the Real Techniques square foundation brush. I've never used this for foundation a day in my life. But I love to put that into the powder and clean up the nose contour. Now, that's a part of the face that I do bake all of the time. Just because my nose contour usually needs a little bit more reinforcement. So that is how you bake. We're going to let it sit. Okay, so while we let this bake, I want to explain to you, do you need to bake? What is the entire point? What does this matter? So setting powder. Right? What's the point of setting powder? That's to mattify and to seal and secure your makeup. If you watched my A's for application video, I was talking about the 3 things that would really improve your makeup. And one of those was adding setting powder. That's what's going to lock your face in. People always ask me, how do you keep your makeup on? Setting powder is the #1 tip. The #1 thing I would say to keep your makeup on and to make your makeup look more cohesive. Right, so that's the entire point of setting powder. So now that you understand what setting powder is for, I think we can better get into what baking is for. Baking is the extreme version of that, right? It's the extreme version of setting your face. You're adding a bigger quantity and you're leaving it on for a longer amount of time, right? Now, is baking necessary for you? Let's talk about that. I have normal to dry skin, meaning that my skin is not too oily, not too dry, but it leans more towards the dry side. You know what I mean? It leans more that way. I don't have a lot of oils, you know, coming through my makeup. My face is not super oily. There's not a lot of moisture that I need to control. Setting powder is great for controlling moisture. You can even see the moisture that I had going on here with, you know, the dewy primer and then the wet foundation, the wet everything, you can see how it's, you know, mattifying that. So if your skin is oily, baking might be something you want to do. It may be something you want to do. I get a lot of questions about oily skin, and y'all, I try to do the best that I can because I don't have oily skin. But I've watched creators like Jackie I know who does have oily skin. At one point, she was putting, I don't know if she does anymore, she was putting setting powder on before she started her base. So like already adding the extra security, putting setting powder on, then doing her base makeup and adding setting powder throughout. So if you have oily skin, perhaps that quantity of baking will really help to lock in the moisture. Now, for my girls on the other side of the spectrum, my girls with dry skin, I would not recommend baking to you. Why? Because it's going to dry out your face. Your face is already dry, all right? That's what happens when you get complaints about cakey makeup. They're like, my makeup is too cakey, or depending on which setting powders you use, I feel like I have flashback. I feel like my under eye is too light, it's too bright. The flash, it might be that you're using too much setting powder. So is baking necessary? The answer is it really depends. It depends on a couple things. One, your skin type needs. So do you have oily skin? Do you have dry skin? Are you somewhere in between? Are you gonna really need that extra layer? For example, I went to Mexico last year and I wanted to do a wear test. I wore my makeup all the way from and it was humid. It was June, it was hurricane season. I wore my makeup all the way from Mexico, flying all the way back to Atlanta. Remember, still June. Actually, it was beginning of July at that point. It was like July 1st or 2nd in Atlanta. Okay, it was 1,000,000 degrees. That day, I used more setting powder. You know, I might have let it sit for a little while. Why? Because I needed that extra security. On a normal day, I don't need too much security because my face is not producing so many oils and things are not really slipping and sliding. Your skin type is important. How long you want to put on your makeup? How long do you want your makeup to last? Now, if you have a day where you're like, I'm wearing my makeup for 18 hours, you might want to let it sit for a little while. Or just add a little bit more than usual. If you don't let it sit, just let it sit. If you don't add a whole big quantity, maybe you just want to let it sit for a little bit longer. Those things. So is it necessary? It depends. I hate to give y'all an it depends answer, but that's the thing about makeup and base makeup in particular. It is so personal, and that's why you can't just, you got to listen to why people do what they do instead of just copying everything somebody does. There's my rant. Now, I'm going to just show you how I apply my base makeup normally. I just apply a little bit of setting powder. And here's the thing. It's in the same exact spots. As you can see, there's less on the brush. Going around the mouth. And up above the brow bone. Simple. And if you're like, okay, Lawrence, look a little ashy, that's because you haven't watched the layering blush video. See, you gotta stay with me through this makeup ABC series. We're going from A to Z of makeup, okay? We're talking techniques, products, tips, tricks, all of that. B is for blush. You would already know that I'm gonna add blush on top. I add my powder blush on top of my setting powder, so don't worry about, oh my gosh, I feel like the blush gets too muted, so I don't want to use setting powder. You can always add more blush. You can always add more blush, and it's going to make sure that your makeup is staying with longevity. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add just a little bit more, and I'm going to go put on my eyelashes and put on my lips, and I'm going to come back and then we'll wipe it away because I realized this video, I've only been filming for like 8 minutes, so we haven't even given it 10 minutes of baking. So we're going to let it apply. Matter of fact, let me just add just a little bit more. Y'all know I love a scientific experiment. So I'm going to let this sit for a second while I put on my lips and my lashes. Speaking of, I'm having a live masterclass on October 25th, 2025 in Washington, D.C. Y'all see I don't tell y'all nothing. I'm trying to get better about it, okay? So I'm having a lips and lashes with Lauren masterclass. It is my second one this year. We're going to be going through all the final touches of makeup, right? So I'm going to teach how to do the perfect red lip. We're going to start with lip care, okay? We're going from lip exfoliating all the way to building the perfect ombre and the color theory that goes into it. We're also going to talk about how to apply lashes. So applying faux lashes, how to cut them to size with your eye, how to make them fit, how to make them stay, how to make sure there's no gap in between your real lashes and your everything that you need to know about lashes. We're talking about lips and lashes at this masterclass. So if you want to get a ticket, check them out in the description bar below. Maybe you want to send it to a friend. I don't know. I think you should. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go put on my final touches and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. The lashes are on, the lip is on. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to just wipe this all away. I feel like it's been like 15-20 minutes. It might not have, but it feels like it. That's the other thing about baking. Sometimes it's hard to wipe away the setting powder when it's been on for so long. So, as you can see more texture here because, like I said, my face is normal to dry. We also have some setting powder in our lashes now. They can be avoided by just changing the order of the steps that you do. Or, you know, you can wipe them off, add a little bit of black liner. That's all that. Now, I will say this. The texture on this side versus this side is a little bit crazy. Let me get close so you can really see. There's always going to be under eye creasing, but I feel like it's crazier on this side. I'm going to add some more blush on both sides because I always add a powder blush afterwards. And I want to make sure that this is fair. I'm going to be using the Colourpop Matte About Hue palette because my orange blush broke. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of orange and a little bit of pink because I always do a combo of the two. And then a little bit of Too Faced Cloud Crush blush, blurring blush. This is in Super Candy Clouds. One day I'm not going to butcher the name of that. Not today, but one day. As you can see, there's still like an indent here. The setting powder stayed on for too long. It's been like 20-30 minutes. There's our experiment. Is baking a necessary step to your makeup routine? It really depends on your skin needs. I cannot emphasize that enough. It depends on how long you want to have your makeup on, and it depends on how much oil your face produces. Okay, me personally, it's a step that I skip. I'm not gonna say baking is trash, baking is not necessary, baking is doing too much, because it really depends on your face. Some people, they're like, no, if I don't bake, this is gonna be a slip and slide. So there is that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. I'm still working towards the 100,000. We just hit, I think, 52,000 the other day. So thank you so much for that. If you would like to learn more about makeup, guess what? I'm doing a makeup vocabulary series, A through Z. We've done makeup application, which is 3 ways to improve your makeup application. Makeup applicators, 4 different tools to add to your collection. We've done how I do my brows. We've done a bunch of things, okay? And now we've done baking. So please subscribe and stick around for that series. Send it to a friend. Also, I have an email newsletter that's going to give you makeup inspiration, recommendations, tips, tricks right to your email address. Because you know how algorithms are? You know what I mean? It's coming straight to your email. So you can sign up down below for the Raggedy Report. If you want to see more of me, my life, my looks, you can check it out in the Shorts tab. We post way more of me. I always say we. The Raggedy Royal team. Me and my mama. But I post way more videos on the Shorts tab and on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, all the same way spelled down below at Raggedy Royal. And I can't wait to see you there. Also, where I can't wait to see you is the masterclass on October 25th, 10:25. I will see you there. We're going to be working through how to apply your perfect red lip combo and faux lashes. Let me know what you want to see next in the Makeup ABC series. I've really written down what I want to do for A through Z. But I'm always open to suggestions. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.